we've covered a lot of shit today. Count the number of pages you've taken notes on. Let's go. Let's see who's got the most pages and notes.
What?
Is that a brand new journal? The fuck, Michael? You got like half a journal.
That's
incredible.
today?
That's today. Just today's notes. If you're with CT, you can't cheat. Use notes from 2 days ago.
Oh, okay.
Just notes from today. Count how many pages you got. 13, 16, 19, 26. How many?
We got 26.
28?
28.
7 pages?
Do we have any more?
30 right here, 30.
30 pages?
We got a 30.
But Nick's
31,
big
31.
Of sunshines.
21.
34.
We got
Okay,
39.
hold on, let's do
Yeah,
this. Here we go. If you have over 20 pages of notes, stand up. Oh shit. Well done. All right. If you have over 30 pages of notes, stay standing. If not, sit down. You have over 40 pages of notes.
Oh, shit.
What the fuck is this guy?
Is that your whole journal? Oh no, it's the first part. Okay, I was looking at the fat section. How many pages do you have? 43. 45 with 1 sentence on the 43. Nice.
Over here?
Okay. How many you guys got? 50?
Oh.
44. 40, 44. 46. I got 60. 60 front and back. All right, now comes the other end of the spectrum. How many of you have less than 5 pages?
Yeah. Tell the truth.
And 2 of them are a
Expose
picture.
yourself here.
No? All right. Okay, so here's the deal. It's not even about the quantity of pages, but what I can tell you is this. When you learn one of the big secrets about coming to events or being part of the brotherhood or part of our games every single week virtually or in our networks, this kind of training and this caliber of training is what we stand for all the time. But inside of it, when I come into rooms like this, my intention is to allow the voice to dictate to me my creations inside of my journal. So oftentimes I'm taking notes on what's being said, but I'm also taking notes on what I need to build. Right? So there's taking notes and then there's building shit. So I may be taking notes on blueprints of things I'm going to build. And at the same time, I'm taking notes on things that are breakthrough for me, insights and ideas that I'm getting. There's going to be a lot of shit that we cover over the next 2 days, and it's just going to keep piling up. So the case of not feeling overwhelmed is to have you today just summarize for yourself what is the thing that you know you must build out of today, which is what you were discussing and talking about. Okay, and then from that, everything else you can go back to. How many have gone back to a journal before? You knew you took some cool shit down. You went back and read it, and you were like, holy shit, I forgot all about that. Okay, cool. That's what happens in General's 10 on Sunday, is the ability to go back and review the work that you did for the week. The notes that you're taking here, this literally is living Scripture, right? So I look at Scripture as nothing more than the writings of a man's experience with voice. We call it voice God. Inside of that, whatever you call the voice, that's fine. We call it God for us. Okay, and in that place, that is the most important Scripture that you'll read this week. Now, some people think I'm downplaying other sacred books. I'm not. But those books were written by dead men, and it was their experience when they were alive with what? With the voice. And now you're having an experience with the voice. Blend those two together, and what you have is victory. But inside of you, you've got to be able to look for this inside of the purity of what you're being given. So one of your assignments tonight, you want to write this down, your assignment tonight, one of them, is to finalize of all your notes tonight, what are the 3 things you must build differently in your world? Build, not breakthrough. Hey, that was a cool insight. What are the 3 things you must build driven by what you were given in blueprints today? Tomorrow's going to get more tactical, which means all the things that you say you're going to build, we're going to be able to start adding the tools and the tactics to supply the ability to build those things. So what are the 3 things that you're going to build? Okay, turn to the man next to you and explain to him one of 3. This is the first of 3 assignments for tonight. Explain assignment number 1 to each other real quick. Let's go. Teach it up. Teach it up.
You see Jesse Ball.
I know. It's crazy. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Sam hunted him down.
You got Jesse here?
Call him.
Okay, assignment number two. Assignment number two for tonight. This morning, you started with Coach Sam with the wire experience. If you had to wire a total amount of money right now, what was the total amount you could wire? Y'all remember this one? Okay. So tonight, you're going to go down and create the number tonight or tomorrow morning. What is the number that you will be able to wire? Listen, this is not a setup. You're not going to be wiring the money to Coach Sam. Although it crossed his mind. He's like, how can we get them to wire it all to us? Jeremy said, I got a movie for that.
I got a movie for that.
Okay, so this is just for you when it comes to your personal, okay, your personal capacity. We call this King's Cash. We're going to spend a bunch of time on this tomorrow. January 1st, 2019. What is the dollar amount you are committed to being able to wire on January 1st, 2019? I don't know where you're going to wire the money. You might not wire it anywhere. But you want to be, I want to know what's the number that you're committed to. This is going to open up the gap for us tomorrow between the number you can wire today and the number that you're committed to wiring January 1st, 2019, at least be in a place to do it if you had to or wanted to. Okay, so that's assignment number two. This is called the wire gap, okay, or the money gap between these 2 points. We're starting to create some targets. No tactics or tools inside of marketing, advertising, sales, systems, fulfillment, automation, accounting, leadership, or branding. None of it fucking matters if you don't actually have a target that you're going after. The second thing that you're going to answer for that wire number, the second one, is the following. How will your life be different? How will your life be different when you're able to wire that amount? How will your life be different? When, not if, when your capacity has grown such that you can wire that amount. One of the crazy things that you'll hear about tomorrow from some of the guys here on the team and in the Brotherhood is when you enter into our world, for those of you that choose to be on this experience to join us inside of Wake Up Warrior in the Brotherhood full time, what you're going to find is that we all experience here something known as the Warrior Time Warp. It's a real thing. We introduced it to all my artists in the hair world. They didn't believe it. They started living core 4, stack, surrounding each other with individuals, living by integrity in the code. Next thing you know, things that would normally take 6 months take 2.5 months. Things that would take 2.5 months take 2 or 3 days. There's an acceleration factor that happens. Oh, I'm going to accelerate. Did you see what Coach Sam did up here? Oh, you better be careful. Okay, there's an acceleration game. Oh, he was already calling for the hammer.
He doesn't fuck around.
He was not fuck around with the hammer and cell phones. Okay, so you've got the why behind this, okay, and the acceleration factor. Just trust that there's actually a number that the voice is going to give you. Don't come from here. Come from here, because what I've found is that the voice in that gap of you between being and doing that Coach Sam taught you, the voice wants you to grow and expand, which is the purpose of your life, and business is one of the most unique tools available to us as men to grow and expand. The other one is women. Business and women, that's why we say paid and laid, the 2 greatest accelerants of a man's life, or decelerants. So there's a target number that will force you to become something new. Meaning who you are right now is not sufficient to actually hit that target. So that is your second assignment. Quickly turn to the man next to you and explain that up. Let's go.
That was good. That was really good.
Sam, did you guys do vlogs today?
They're sitting here and everybody knows
Oh, that's good.
eventually they will come.
Of course. That's good. Every day is gonna have a new some. Is this on? I can't even tell. Hey, is this on?
Assignment number 3. And your final assignment for day 1. Assignment number 3, you are going to send a video message. Not a FaceTime, a video message that expresses 3 things: love, appreciation, and honor. And you're going to send it to your wife, girlfriend, or someone significant in your world if you have neither right now. Secondarily, if you have children, you are going to send a short video message to all of your children, if they are of cell phone age. If they are not, then you will send that message to someone who can show it to them. Inside of this message, you are going to appreciate and honor them and express your love to them for supporting you being here to become a better man and a better businessman so that you can create more for the family. Because while you're here, somebody else is at home watching the show, taking care of business. Again, if you are single and you have dogs, if you have cats, don't come back. You are chasing the wrong pussy. Second piece in this, again, if you're single and you don't have those, then you just pick 2 people. 2 people who matter to you inside of your world. Inside these messages, do not make any bold promises. Just express love, appreciation, honor. Don't tell them what you're going to do. You're going to find out here we don't talk about what we're going to do to the people we love who are not in this room. We go home and guess what we do? We do shit. And we let our results speak for ourselves. Okay, assignment number 3. Turn to your buddy and explain it really quick. Let's go. Finley.
It's gotta be so wild for these guys who've never been here to.
All right, so we are done in 17 minutes. We will be back tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. Doors will open 5 minutes before. So 9 o'clock is the official day, but we're going to start letting people in at 8:55. So tomorrow we have a full day ahead of us. For tonight, for the last 17 minutes, we are going to the speed Q&A round. You can ask Coach Sam or Coach Jeremy any question that you like based upon the content frames and ideas that you got today. Those questions, they will have 1 minute to answer. Then we will jump to another question. We will do probably 8 to 9 or 10 of these. And in a room of this size, if I have to wait for someone to ask a question, I don't know what will happen. I'll just let it naturally flow. Okay, let's go. On your feet. What's your name? Where you from?
I'm Zach Nordgren from Chicago. I'm 20 years old.
I know.
Yes.
Okay, we got another one. Okay, who's your question for? Jeremy or Sam?
Questions for Jeremy. What's the most pronounced and unique problem in marketing and being a creator that you find comes from being in the arts, being an artist, and being yourself and putting what you channel out there? What's the most pronounced problem you see in marketing? Sorry.
Is this a question of expression?
How
How do you express yourself as an artist in the best?
No. It's.
You're doing good. Throw it back to me. Okay, sit down, Zach. I'm going to come back to you in a second. Breathe. I get it, man. How many of you know it's like a little nerve-wracking to stand up and like talk, particularly if you were 20 in this room?
Yeah, dude.
Shit. Okay, cool. So I'm going to come back to you after the next question. Just breathe, simplify your question, and I'll come right back.
Yeah.
Nick, I love you. No.
Sorry, Nick.
Quit
We'll talk about
hogging the
oversurfing.
microphone, Nick. Quit hogging. Okay, well, come here. No, come here. All right, what's your name and where you from?
Rob from Raleigh, North Carolina.
Beautiful. Question for Jeremy or Sam?
Sam.
Sam. All right.
So, what you did with Chris, absolutely beautiful.
Alex.
I'm sorry.
Got it?
With Alex, kind of bringing him in, surrounding his problem. But I'm trying to wrap my head around how to bring that to corporate accounts where they specifically isolate the decision makers from the engineers that you are selling to. And then there's also other corporations that you get purchasing involved, which like to play little mindfuck games with you.
So my background was oil and gas. I dealt with what you're talking about for years. So in a sales cycle of that you're talking about where there's multiple decision makers, you're gonna have to go all the way in with your story. You're gonna have to go talk to engineering, and you're gonna have to know your audience. There is a language for the guy in engineering, and you have to be relevant. The frame that I explained to you, you have to make it relevant for the engineer. There's gotta be something in it for him. If not, he won't give a fuck about your interest. The bean counter in accounting, you're gonna have to create something that he wants. So you gotta be aware of all the components in your sales cycle, but the frame remains the same, which is what you want. You stay true to what you want. And if you don't get it, at least you weren't fucking used just so that you can bring the price down for the two other guys that participated in the last three finalists. So at least you're gonna be in a process that is honest and true. 1 minute. Clear?
Does that make sense? People are people are people. It doesn't matter how many are stacked on top of each other. So access the first one, then you get to the next one, Everybody has to give a shit up the line about the decision and why it matters to their children, their family, their lives. 2 good. Boom. Zach, are you ready? One more? Okay.
All right.
Okay, for Jeremy or Sam?
This is for Sam. My name's Tony. I'm from the Boston, Massachusetts area. I've owned a construction business for about 17 years now. It's been fairly successful on the surface. So what the issue for me, or what I'm looking for, is I've been a phony when I realized where I'm at now, or where I was before I did the King's Kit, and I'm coming out of that now. But to build the frame and to be truthful with the frame when I've already put out an image that's out there, now I'm putting out a different image. Is that it sends 2 different messages? How do I make them understand that the new message is the real message versus the message that they've seen that I've been putting out there for so goddamn long?
Beautiful. I saw you posting on your progress on the King's Kid Challenge, and number one, you went all in, so like I feel exactly what you're talking about. You had a breakthrough just through that experience of becoming this person that you actually are and you want to be. There's gonna be a price to pay, man. Like for years, those that you've lied to have paid a price that you may not be aware of. And so it's time for you to pay the price. And so there's gonna be a pain point for you. There was a pain point for Garrett. There was a pain point for me. There was a pain point for Jeremy. There was a pain point for all the graduates of Warrior Week. One of the things that could accelerate this for you is come and experience Warrior Week, because that's what it does. It reframes you. This is not a pitch for Warrior Week, but it's the fucking truth. It's going to reframe you and inject that certainty inside of you that is going to make you deal with this dual personality image that you put out there. There's nothing that could deal with it but your own certainty. Increase that, and you won't give a fuck about this one, and you'll care more about the other one. Does that make sense?
Too good? Boom. Zach, how we coming? You ready now? Okay. Question
All
to
right,
Jeremy.
Zach,
All right,
bring
buddy.
it. What you got?
So let's start over again. Name and where you're from.
I'm Zach. I'm from Chicago. So, how do you compare, or what differences do you see in marketing and selling something that's artistic, like music or video, as compared to a physical product or tangible service?
Great. Very cool.
Look at that question. So, Jeremy?
Yeah. There isn't one. So,
If you're going to yell it out, you got to own it. Anything else you want to add to that? You got 1 minute.
same mindset, same skill sets. I'm an artist. I'm a musician, right? The same way that I launched my music is the same way that I launched products. So there's really no distinction other than just it's marketing, and it's selling and expression, and take on the mindsets and the skill sets of packaging and promotion, and all those things that you'd point into business is the same way that you'd point it into artists. Because at the end of the day, if you take artists, your life as an artist seriously, what ultimately does it become? A business. Even if it's, I'm just going to give all my profit away because I just don't care about the money because I run my own fucking thing because I'm a marketing genius anyway, it's still a business, so there's no difference.
Too good? Boom. Name where you're from.
Nathan, Gold Coast, Australia. Question for you, Jeremy.
Yeah.
What are your top 3 key steps or sequence steps in writing powerful copy for direct response marketing?
I'm not a copywriter, so I don't have a top 3. The top 3, there's hacks that I look at, which is, for example, one thing is that I'm going to cover with you guys tomorrow, which is meeting someone where they are inside of a sleep. There's different ways to approach them inside of there. One of the greatest struggles that a businessman faces in today's life is managing the business and the rest of your life, right? That's an entry point. So I look at entry points to enter the mind. I don't look at just swipe copy that I can implement all over the place and spray like a fucking spammer. Does that make sense? So I try to understand their consciousness instead of trying to understand what copy I can try to make copies of.
Stepping into their shoes first and foremost, meeting them where they're at, and going from there, letting that guide you.
Yeah, because sometimes it can literally be I can help you, and that's the thing that works. It's understanding where they are.
Okay.
So don't even think about copy. Just get into their mind, and that copy will naturally come.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're already seeing success with that, Nathan.
Yeah, I
with
am.
what we've already been doing inside Brotherhood. So
Yeah.
just keep rolling with that same play.
Okay.
Too good? Boom. Name where you're from. What's going on?
Chris
with you?
Chris from Denver. So Jeremy, when you look at Asleep and Aware, are those, from a marketing perspective, are those separate campaigns of building relationships to get to Awake, or can those be in a comprehensive, working with somebody at Asleep, and in that same campaign that you hope to get them to Awake?
I'm going to go deep into this tomorrow. Campaign has to do with what you sell, what your product is. So if you're overarching what your product is, that's the what. And then you have ad sets and ads and deeper levels. And you're dealing with an overarching campaign, Asleep, Aware, and Awake in that whole campaign. So we have different levels that we do market. We have the same product we're selling, but we have different messages. When we're selling King's Kit, we have an entry point inside of Asleep, and we have a place to wake them up into an awareness. and then the awakening of them actually wanting to buy, but it's all the same campaign. And like, there's actual tactical ways I'll show you inside of Ads Managers, which is just like, overall campaign has to do with the product that you're selling, and then the ad sets and the ads and the messaging all serves you selling that product. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, but it won't be like in one, but it wouldn't be in one individual video.
Nope.
You wouldn't have all three of those
Oh,
components
no.
in one video.
No.
Great.
No.
Yep. Part on the back end we'll talk about tomorrow is how we stack sequences based upon these three categories. And when you start stacking sequences, then you never confuse who you're talking to.
Or how you're saying.
When you broadcast generalized shit and try to hit everybody in all three categories, it's a nightmare, and you'll lose a shitload of money advertising. Okay, let's keep going. Going to back. We're naming where you're from.
Mike Benedict, New Orleans. This message is for Sam. Let's see. So when Garrett dishes out the doors, at what point does he issue the doors? Is it every Monday? And also, is the doors 4 at a time per person?
So systematically, yes, it would be Mondays, but it's almost like every day. Because here's what you got to understand, because inside of our game, we have doors and doors and doors and doors and doors. We have developed a capacity to manage doors and doors and doors. But at the beginning, when I first started, it was, here's what I want you to do, and all I want you to do is focus on this task for today, for tomorrow, for this week. So at the beginning, it was 1 door and 4 bullet points, very clear what it was. I wouldn't do anything else but that. Today, there is, I would say, 20 plus doors at the same time, but that's capacity.
Isolate your people. Keep it simple in the beginning. Most people have, you come back with this shit and you want to load the whole game, but if you had patience for 4 weeks and you added a piece every week, in 4 weeks your whole team will be up to speed. But if you try to dump it all on them first week, overwhelm, they'll think you're crazy. They'll just wait for you to exhaust yourself, because you will. 1 door, practice it with everybody. Next week, 1 thing. Add another. 4 weeks capacity, just like you were stacking plates in squats. You're just going to roll in 400 pounds and somebody who's not got that capacity. Just build up to it. 2 club. Boom. Name where you're from?
Trevor Crane, and I live in Tampa now. Sam, so this is a follow-up question that Garrett was just answering, and you guys kind of went back and forth. When you're talking about the doors with your team, is it, do you share them the context, the target, and all 4 doors, or is it just clarity with the 1 door? Or I'm just curious how that shows
So I'll give
up.
you an example so you understand how I fucked this up. Daniel Bendarski, he came in, graduated Warrior Week 24, and I kept in touch with Daniel. And inside of this game, me and Dan, we remained in contact. We did some stuff together, and I knew that there was a place for him here. So I kept in touch with him for over a year, and I called him like 4 months before that he joined us and said, bro, this is happening. Like, I feel that this is going to happen. And 4 months later, he came down here, was part of the team at Warrior Week, and initially he was under my management, stewardship, whatever it is. I was distribute the task. So what I did is that I dumped a bunch of doors on him without being clear, because I was driven by the outcomes, not necessarily by the breakdown of the doors and the process. I completely bypassed all that shit, and I said, hey, listen, bro, this is what I want you to do, and this is what I want out of it. And it piled, and it piled, and it piled, and he was just feeling the pressure. And what happened is Garrett stepped in, because Garrett was seeing this. He goes, listen, you love this man, you called him here, but here's what's happening. You're burning the fuck out of this guy, because you're just dumping a bunch of shit on him because you want to get it done. I get it. Like, I fucking get it. But here's what you need to do. And he told me, remember when you joined in and how you were doing things? So we went back to 1 week, 1 task. Whatever the capacity of that task was, that was it. Nothing else. And so Garrett took over, and ever since that, things are much better, I can say.
So you'll see the potential in a lot of your producers who are on your team. If you're any level of like leader, you'll attract producers. But the problem is you'll attract producers who haven't played inside of your game. Right? So Colin Talley just came on as our chief operating officer, and he's got shitloads of experience. 28 years, Colin? 28 years of like fucking smashing it. And we brought him on with Warrior full time. Like, I seduced him for a while, and then it made sense, and he's moving his family here from Louisiana here at the end of this month. But even when Colin came in with all the experience he had with the Brotherhood, 2.5 years he was here with us, he had no experience working in the internal ship of the insanity of how fast we build shit. And we build shit because of the doors. That quickly we move. So Colin came in, and for the first 5 weeks, he was experiencing some of the same chaos. I was letting him find some shit out and what he was going to do, etc. But then he was getting stuck in the fact that there were so many fucking doors everywhere. Like, everyone he would talk to, there was like 20 doors that person was operating. And it got overwhelming to the fact that Colin's coming in and trying to figure out what fucking doors belong where. He's like, I don't even know what's going on. It's like a goddamn door hurricane around here. I don't know what's happening. And then his fact finder, which is level 7, is stressing the fuck out because he just wants to know the details about every fucking door and where did that door come from, where did that door come. Me and Sam just sit in that and have Jeremy put some soundtrack music on, and we're just like, this is exciting. Check out all these fucking doors. This is great. But Colin, on the other hand, was brought in, like Jeff, to be able to bring order. But what he saw was chaos. What me and Sam and Jeremy saw was music. We're like, it's musical. What are you talking about? So I had to do with Colin 2 weeks ago. I literally did do the same thing we did with Bendarski, is I had to put the fucking brakes on. And I stripped everything off of his plate, everything. I was like, I don't want you to fucking do anything but these 3 doors. And then I said, and your brain's going to tell you it's going to take you 5 weeks to do these doors. Welcome to Warrior. You're going to have them done by Friday. He's all, it's Tuesday. I was like, I appreciate that you know how to read a calendar. And you're going to get it fucking done by Friday. Now, what I see is capacity in a man. I brought him on for a reason. I could see who he could become. So I tend to bring players onto the team driven by who I know they can become, but under the same strategy. It took about a week. He had like the glazed over eyes, 15-hour days. They were glazed, like red, glazed, like he'd been smoking pot all day long, every day. And I looked at him and I was like, welcome to Warrior. He's like, got this. But his capacity with 3 doors expanded. And the next week, he adopted and adapted. And now, he's doing exactly what I knew he could do. Which now all the doors fucking slowed down. How many of you guys know what I'm talking about? When you're new to something, it feels overwhelming, but once you kind of get the rhythm of how the frame works, shit slows down. Ads felt like a fucking nightmare to me. And then I slowed it down to gotta get a click. 2, gotta get a lead. 2, gotta get a client. Asleep. Aware, awake. Click. Asleep. Aware, lead. Awake, client. You see this? I promise you all the madness that you think we have displayed today is just big fucking concert. And tomorrow, we're going to help you see the notes inside of the sheet music. Today, we just gave you the booklet, and there's a song in there. Tomorrow, we're going to teach you how to read notes. So, turn to your partner next to you and share with them one final time before we are done for tonight. What are the 3 assignments that you have that are due? You've got 30 seconds. Off we go.